Yo, what's going on? It's your boy King J back with another one. I skipped over some parts. The cat's got a rat again. Anyways, I skipped over some parts about the build. Actually, now the engine is out. Yes, I took the engine and the transmission out of the car. There it is, 302. 302 two barrel, stock 79. There goes the C4 under there. That's gonna be for sale. I ain't gonna need it. There goes the AOD that was built by the local transmission shop. This is my new front tubular K member. It has spring purchase, so I'll be running the coil springs in the front and just regular the matching Viking struts up front that match the rear. Needs a little cleanup. It's not bad, you know. Still mad they pulled off this AC and ripped the hoses off. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. And then I destroyed the condenser, but these condensers are not meant for the new stuff. It's meant for the old stuff, and they say it don't work as good. Man, let me tell you what though, it was a struggle getting across this gravel. I had to put wood boards down and move it every time when I got the engine hoisted up out of there and then put it on the stand. That was a fun time, but I got it done. It's done. It's out of the car. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and start stripping it down. I'm probably not gonna film much of it. I'll come back hopefully about 35-45 minutes. It shouldn't take very long to strip this thing down and take the heads and the intake off. I'm probably just gonna leave the manifolds on there. We'll see about that, but yeah, I think I'm gonna leave them on there. They might just come off anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna take that and we're gonna go from there. All right, I'll be back in a while. Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm back. A little bit of an update. Man, that water pump had a stud right here, a standoff stud that wouldn't come out. I had to spin the water pump with the stud. I mean, the water pump was junk anyways. When I had the electrical issue with my brake lights a couple years back, I took it to a shop because I just didn't want to mess with the electrical, and I had already replaced the brake switch, and I was like, man, go ahead and fix it. And they fixed it, and they said my water pump was leaking. I was like, well, now that's why I know it's leaking. Hey, it's old, it's original, it said Ford on it. I should show you, but I threw it in the trash. But this stud right here, this one, I don't know what they did. It's like they broke the nut off and left the stud in the block, and then they just said, screw it, it ain't gonna leak. Well, it was leaking, you know, apparently, and I was like, well, I'm gonna get an aluminum water pump anyway. But here's something interesting. Has somebody been in this block? I didn't know 79 had 4 eyebrow pistons like that. I mean, I don't see a 30 mark, which would indicate that it's 30 over, but I gotta clean off a piston and see. But this is how they look, you know. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's a high mileage engine. I mean, it's damn near 50 years old. But I'm wondering if somebody was in the block. But I mean, it has four eyebrow pistons. Normally, I didn't think 79 had any. I thought it was just straight, hardly any eyebrow. But I want to turn the engine over and see. I want to get the deck height on it and see how far this piston really is in the hole. Maybe I can do it. I don't have a crankshaft socket though. That's the only thing. I might have to put the crank pulley bolt back in and try to just to spin it. I have a magnetic dial indicator. I'm curious. Anyways, that's just a little bit of update. All I gotta do is pull these motor mounts off, turn this engine upside down, start pulling rod and main caps and seeing what the deal is. I'm actually gonna stamp these caps in the rod, at least the rod caps, in the firing order that the engine will be, which will be a 351 firing order when I put it back together, because there's not a lot of people that make 302 firing order roller cams. They don't, you know, because that old firing order, it loads that front main cap, and that's what causes problems. That's, you know, all 351s have we just call it a 351 firing order, but HO 50s have them too. The later 50 302s Mine is not. Obviously, you see it's flat tappet. It ran. I mean, it ran all right, you know, for a stock low compression smog era 302. I cruised it around, went to car show cruises and stuff. Aha! Here's something interesting. The hell's a dowel right there? I got a dowel here. I got a dowel there. And I got a dowel here. Now, unless this one's been knocked down in the block, I'll have to ask the machinist about that. But, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's been knocked, I don't know, either knocked down in the block or it's broken off in the block. Yeah. But anyways, I'll be back. Alright, here's another update. Harmonic balancer stuff. So I already pulled this off. It's already pulled. I just got it sitting on there for a reason. Fords are really funny about the harmonic balancers and the pulleys and all that stuff. You better get that stuff right. So, if you want to talk about imbalance, this is a 79 302. This is a 28 ounce imbalance. And the way you can tell that apart from a 50 ounce imbalance, which was 82-ish, 81-ish, and later, all the way up to the end of the production of Windsors, is that there is a, let me see if I can focus on, right here, there's a little ledge. It dips in the back. Dang, let me zoom out. See if I can zoom out. You see right here, there's a ledge right here. A 50 ounce imbalance does not have this. It's straight. It doesn't dip down in the back of the balancer. And also the counterweight, is not as big on here. You can't see it because I'll take it off and show you. But this is that's how you tell a 28 from a 50. And you have to know how many bolt holes you have. I have 4. Older 302s and 289s up to a certain, I forget what year it is, 70-ish, 71-ish, 72-ish, I don't know. They have 3. There are aftermarket pulley or aftermarket dampers that come with both. But you're gonna need a spacer. I would need a spacer if I'm gonna use a 3 and 4 bolt dampener. I'm just gonna go for a 4 bolt dampener. I may not need a spacer. My damper is 6.5 inches in diameter. There are 6.5 inch dampers out there. And also, I've got this handy dandy clock I printed out, because the other thing with 302s is that they had 3 different sets of timing marks. They had 2 o'clock over here, 2 o'clock, 10, and 11. The only way you're going to know is if you turn your crank like I did, put the keyway at the top, 12 o'clock, and then try to line this little, I printed this out online, and try to line this up and see where your 0 mark is. Like, you can't see my 0 mark, but my 0 mark is very close to 10 o'clock. I thought it was 11, but I really think that this is a 10 o'clock balancer. 10 o'clock balancer. Also, I have a part number here, the original Ford number, so I can actually see what it is. Yeah, see, it has the marks 20. Like, it's hard to focus on this bad boy, but it has 20. You know, it goes back to 30 before top dead center. That's actually good. And then it goes to 10 after top dead center. But yeah, that's actually pretty good, because then you can time it the way you're supposed to time it. On these old balancers, I just would have had a mark. I would have just marked it. Somebody, you know, I would just mark it wherever with a white paint marker and go, okay, well, that's my time. That's my timing. On these newer balancers, some of them, they have markings for everything, 2, 10, and 11 o'clock. Some of them have 360 degree markings. That's also good. But I think that's one of the main, those are the main things you need to know. How big the balancer is, how many bolt holes you have, and what your imbalance is. And you either go, you know, if I'm sticking with this crankshaft, obviously I got to stick with a 28 ounce imbalance. The flex plate also has to be a 28 ounce imbalance. Other than that, man, I measured this piston. I just cleaned it off. I think it is stock. I think it is a stock piston. It said 39 thou in the hole. 39, 40,000. I was like, oh yeah, that's a lot. You know, this is just the regular surface. I used my magnetic dial indicator and just put it on the block, and then brought it up as high as I could to top dead center, and then I slid it over. It read 39, and that's probably true. That's probably true about what it is if it's stock 302. I mean, these things are late 70s, low compression, emissions. There go the heads. Worthless. I mean, they're good heads, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but worthless. So let's see what the valves and stuff look like. I mean, it's just normal. These things are heavy as hell. I can't wait to get the aluminum heads. I mean, they don't look bad. Let me back up. I mean, it looks all right for almost 50-year-old engine. The other head looks the same. This autopsy on this engine, I mean, it ran fine. I mean, you saw it in the videos. And luckily, I was able to take the exhaust manifolds off, too. I was going to put all this crap on Marketplace. This, the rear end, the other 410 gears, the other 5-lug drum brake axles, this drive line. I don't know. Front K member, that's going to be interesting because I don't know how I'm going to keep my shift linkage with this one, with this aftermarket one. That's going to be interesting. See if I can figure it out. If not, I'm going to have to go to a floor shifter, which I guess that's okay. There goes the flex plate. There goes the flex fan, the shroud. The radiator's still good. I mean, all this stuff's still good. It's just, it's old. So anyways, let me get back to taking this apart. Apparently we got a power outage in the house. So I guess I'm just gonna keep on working out here. I mean, no point in going in the house if the power's out and I gotta sit there and do nothing. Might as well be productive. And I might even take the hubs off these SN95s because this one's frozen. This thing don't move. So I went and bought new ones and new nuts and put Moroso 3-inch studs in it. So that ought to be decent. So now the front and rear have 3-inch studs for the wheels. Pretty strong, 1/2 inch 20 studs too. Anyways, let me get back to tearing this engine apart. Let me take the oil pan off, take the timing cover off, start stamping the connecting rods in the firing order, and that way I can go ahead and do what I need to do to get it to the machine shop next week, and then just start taking out the front K member and putting on all the SN95, all the good stuff on that. All right, I'll be back. All right, and we're back after a hailstorm of all things. I know, it looks dirty. Let me tell you what I found. Well, it's all broken down. So another thing you need to know about Ford 302s and Windsors and that thing is whether you have a 1-piece or 2-piece eccentric. I have a 2-piece. So that's the timing chain I gotta buy. 2-piece eccentric. As you can see, the tappets are in good shape. You can't, but what wasn't in good shape was half the rings came out broken. And then on top of that, I mean, I didn't see like a seal in there for the rear main seal. I was like, what the hell? But the crank looks good. I think it can get just polished, but I think what I'm going to do is have the rods rebuilt. Free float ARP bolts. Have the whole rotating assembly balanced, obviously. But I still can't tell if that's a 4-inch piston or a 30 over. But if it's 30 over, I might have to get 40 over. I mean, cylinder wall, obviously, it has a little bit of a ridge. Right at the top. I may end up decking the block for sure. I'm still curious about this hole. I guess I'll find out. You guys can tell me in the comments. But overall, not a bad breakdown. Everything's in here, like just sitting in there. The rods and the crank. Got the block. I mean, I don't know if I'd sell this cam. It's a flat tablet cam. Everybody's kind of leery about those. I don't even know if this is original or not. I have no clue. It looks decent. The bearings had copper, as you can see. That is the front one. It's that one. It's, you know, it at one point it got beat up pretty bad. I think because I had overheated it a little, but it still ran. That's the funny thing. But it did smoke. But it always smoked. Ever since I bought it, it smoked a little, but not like a ton of smoke. But when you hit the gas, yeah, you would get a lot of smoke. And I'm thinking it's because, like, what the hell? I didn't even see the rear main seal in there. I'm like, what in the world? And then I gotta get the number off the block. I want to see what it is. I'm gonna get the number off of the, because it had the number stamped on there, and it had the number on the balancer too, so I could say for sure that it's 10 o'clock. And I know for a fact it's a 28 ounce imbalance, just the way it's shaped, and having being a 4-bolt pulley, because 3-bolt pulleys, you know, those are all older 302s. This was a mid 70s, obviously late 70s 302. So now I'm gonna get the numbers off. I'm gonna get the numbers off that balancer. I'm gonna start to write a list of stuff that I know I need, and then the rest is gonna be determined by what the machine shop finds. So I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing, like, share, comment. All right, peace out.